Thank you. With that, let us bring in former acting U.S. Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Matt, great to have you as always. You heard the president's attorney, Joe Tacopina, say there's going to be a motion to dismiss in all likelihood. You heard your successor say there's really no legal basis for this claim as we know it, based upon the facts as we know it. So, don't you think that Trump's motion to dismiss should be granted?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it's good to be with both of you this morning, but there's no doubt in my mind that the legal basis for this case is very weak. You know, not only on, again, if everything is to be believed and it's coming from serious sources that have, you know, good information, this indictment is going to be mostly a falsification of business records. You know, that has two elements to it. It doesn't appear that the facts support really either element, but the thing that concerns me the most is the separation of powers issue, and that is that you have a local DA trying to enforce federal law on campaign finance violation, and that's a very concerning thing because, you know, the feds looked at this issue, both the Southern District of New York and the Federal Election Commission, both who have jurisdiction over federal election laws, and they passed on that case. And so the fact that any local DA can take up a case under federal law and pursue it against their political enemies, I think is a very concerning precedent. And I expect that the motion practice in this case, you know, not only will make law, but will probably define a lot of the cases going forward.
So do you think, because you talk about this precedent set, do you think it's a dangerous precedent to be set, and that all politicians should be worried? Anyone who's under investigation or under the microscope right now?
Yeah, Ashley, and I think, you know, if somebody's a politically ambitious local DA, this case, if it's allowed to proceed and is successful ultimately, which I don't believe it will be, but let's assume for the purpose of the argument that it is, I think that opens up thousands of local DAs to now go after their political opposition, not only at a local level, but at a federal level. And so I think this is a really, you know, we've crossed the Rubicon here in American jurisprudence. And this is where the system needs to work. You know, the system both at the state level and at the federal level has to work not only for Donald Trump, because this isn't just about Donald Trump. This is about really the future of our republic and whether these local DAs can use their power to embarrass, to harass, and to ultimately attempt to imprison people from the opposition party. It's frightening, quite frankly.
Matt, there's also talk of a gag order in this case, and typically gag order would be to make sure that the defendant, in this case Donald Trump, gets a fair trial. Gag order is not something that Donald Trump wants. He wants to be able to run with this as part of his campaign. This is something that Bragg wants. What do you make of that?
Yeah, Todd, and that you just said it as part of his campaign. There's a major First Amendment question on a gag order, and that is, can a candidate for president of the United States be prevented from speaking out, from campaigning? You know, and obviously the contours of that is going to be very difficult. We've seen so many leaks from the prosecution side. The New York Times appears to have a real-time line by line as to what this case is about and how it's to proceed. And, you know, I don't see a judge having any appetite to go after Alvin Bragg in his office, but at the same time, you know, Donald Trump, who's a candidate for president and has significant First Amendment rights, is going to be gagged from speaking about this. And it's obviously, this points to why it's political, because it's going to prevent President Trump from running for president.
100%.
Best point made yet today. Matt Whitaker, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.